Palestinian poet Ashraf Fayyad was sentenced to death, not by ISIS, but by Saudi Arabia for renouncing Islam. Not only that, he denies even having renounced Islam anyway, but let's put that aside for the time being. Evidence being used against him includes poems from his collection called Instructions Within, which is totally banned in Saudi Arabia, as well as his Twitter posts and a conversation he had in a coffee shop in Abba, which was said to be blasphemous. He has been given 30 days to appeal the sentence. In this way, Saudi Arabia is no different than ISIS for executing the poet or sentencing to be executed the poet Ashraf Fayyad for leaving Islam. This is the great hypocrisy we have been talking about with you for many, many years. We're all shocked, right, by the Islamic State beheading people for moral and religious crimes that are, of course, completely ridiculous. But there are so-called Islamic states that behead people as part of their justice system. And one of them is a huge American ally.
Yes, it seems that you don't have to do much to be executed over there, but they take pride in this. And it probably stems from some interpretation of their religious text.
Sure.
So
we need to understand Wahhabism in order to understand what's going on in Saudi Arabia and the religious text, of course.
Right. But yeah, they're an ally. We know why they're an ally. And maybe because of our current status quo and energy needs, it's important to remain an ally. But Dave, it kind of makes me feel a little sick to my stomach.
It absolutely is. And Saudi Arabia is not better than ISIS in this moral sense with regard to the beheadings for bogus religious crimes. They are, of course, different. Saudi Arabia is willing to engage in diplomacy. ISIS seems completely unwilling to enter into any diplomatic relationship with anyone. It fails to recognize borders, which even recognizing borders would be sort of a concession from ISIS. It is not the same as Saudi Arabia, but with regard to the beheadings for religious reasons, they certainly are no better. And the fact that they do it under the system of a legal system with courts and the whole thing, if a court sentences you to be beheaded or publicly killed or whatever for a so-called religious crime, it doesn't matter that a court did it. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and it's the same mentality. But what are you going to do? They're going to remain an ally, and as long as they are a stable country producing lots of oil, I think our government is going to keep going over there, shaking hands, bowing, and making nice.
Having oil and leaders that will kiss George W. Bush can bring you from the category of ISIS-like to the category of very, very friendly ally with the United States. That we know for sure.